G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing the Abbasid dynasty, we have the Viper. His opponent who spawns on the opposite side of the match, or on the opposite side of the map rather. Fitz, tell us who it is.
We've got GG Black Widow playing as the Red Mongols. And of course, the first decision you always have to make with the Mongols is where do you put that town center? The preference is usually by a gold and wood line, but here you can see the gold is out towards the middle. So he settles for the wood and berries here, doing a little bit of long chopping for that wood there. We'll see, rather open map, just a cliff down on the west side here on Lipany.
Yeah, so do you think that favors Viper more, or do you think that favors Black Widow more? Because obviously, the Viper's on the Abbasid dynasty, not a civ known for its aggression. Could be difficult for him.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I said this earlier. I played a few matches this morning, and they were 3 games of Mongol tower rushes in a row. And boy, is this a good map to do tower rush, because look how far away that gold is from the town center. Yeah,
it's kind of ludicrous how far away that is, isn't it? It's just... there is no hope that you're going to be able to defend that. It is going to be very, very difficult. But Black Widow now going to be adding in a stable nice and early. So he was doing quite a long-range chop. My suspicion is that typically you would want to avoid doing a long chop like what he was doing. But because he had already chopped down the tree, it does take some time to do that. I think it works out to be like 10 chops or something like that. It was just more efficient for him to actually just take the rest of the wood out of that tree, rather than to go back onto the wood line and find a new tree to start chopping. But yeah, he's got the double production now coming out for him. He's going for double scouts. So I'm expecting we'll see professional scouts coming out pretty shortly from him. But we might even see some early harassment. No villagers coming out just yet looking to drop down an early outpost.
Well, I've seen a lot of people, when I was getting tower rushed, it was mostly spears recently. But you could do it with, I mean, you can obviously do it with scouts, but see what happens here. He could even park that con on that gold mine right now and just be super annoying. But I think he is going to get the gold he needs to age up. It really doesn't look like Black Widow. Well, I was about to say he's going to tower rush, but here comes 2 villagers.
Oh, really? Okay, we've got the villagers now coming out. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of doing the tower rush with the scouts. I think it is the superior tower rush, definitely. And the reason why is because you've got the versatility of having scouts. Like, you've got spears out, congratulations. You've got spears. There's nothing really else that you've got going for you. Whereas you've got scouts, you've got siege, mobility, you can harass villages still. And of course, professional scouts comes in, and congratulations, you've got units that you actually have a use for. So, incredibly strong. But Black Widow now continuing to head down. Now, keep in mind, Viper is actually going to spot this out. He does see this coming. And I'm having reminiscence of, or not reminiscence of, but reminders of the game he played in Genesis. The second round, it was up against Simtom. Simtom was also playing the Mongols. Viper, I think at the time, was playing the French. I may be mistaken, though, but Viper went up against a very similar attack here from his opponent.
I mean, not only is this good to deny the gold, he's up against Abbasid, who, you know, they get those bonuses from those berry bushes, and, you know, a second tower is probably going to come down here, and he will have denied those berries as well. So this is... Yeah, I mean, it's textbook what Mongols do. We said it for out of the gate that this is probably what's going to happen. I think the reason why I've seen people do spears is because an opponent can decide to, in the Dark Age, build a barracks and train some spearmen out. And if you have just scouts, they can come down here with, you know, if you had 3 or 4 spears right now, it would be a problem. But obviously mobility, professional scouts, there's a trade-off there.
Yeah, definitely. Viper now going to be under a bit of attack here on this mining camp as well. So it's slowly but steadily going to be sieged down by these Mongol scouts. So he will be claiming that bounty very shortly.
Oh, man.
6 scouts now coming out.
This is my morning today. It was just this every game. And you know I played a lot of Mongols coming into this launch bay before, but this is annoying.
Yeah, this is very frustrating. Another outpost going to come down on the other side of this wood line here, and Viper going to be looking it like he's in a bit of a difficult spot. A barracks going to be coming out in response to it. We'll take a look at Black Widow and see how far he is towards aging up. So a few villagers back here underneath the town center, as well as 3 out on the Gur. So he's going to be clicking up to the next stage very shortly. This barracks a little bit delayed from Viper. Going to be coming out now, but you can see just how much he's struggling here with it as the scouts are doing their best to try and take it out before it's able to do any sort of meaningful damage. But scouts got to be careful. They're coming in underneath the town center. Viper not skipping a beat as well, not missing a beat rather, putting all those villagers inside the town center quick smart. But now going to be adding in an archery range as well. Going to be researching fresh food stuff, so he did go up with the economic wing, and he's not looking too bad at this point. He's managing to hold his head above water, it seems, at least for the moment.
Yeah, so you see the tower right there now getting shots out on villagers on that wood line. So he's going to creep forward and probably deny this wood line, forcing him to go to the other side. And that's, once he runs out of these sheep, he's got a while, right? He's got a while for those sheep. But once he does run out of them, that's when it will really get tricky.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But we actually see that Black Widow now moving up towards the north side of Viper's base and potentially going to be dropping an outpost, as you mentioned, on those berries. And if he denies those berries, it could be very difficult for Viper. He's going to have to move out onto the map, potentially look for another expansion point, but then that's going to open him up because behind this, undoubtedly, we're going to have Black Widow looking for a fast castle. We can see that Black Widow is still gathering up plenty of gold at this point. We'll have a look exactly how he's doing when it comes to it. Actually going up pretty quick there with the deer stones. That is a surprisingly quick click up. But these two villagers getting caught out of position here. Viper going to be able to chase them down. A single archer as well as the scout spotting it out. And a handful of spears now coming out for him as well.
Yeah, but good move there. I mean, like I said, this is predictable. Like, this is where he would come next. And out of all the civilizations, Abbasids are probably better suited to deal with this if they can instantly build rams, if he had the wood. Where other civs, like, they're sitting there waiting. Like, there's no way to push into those towers. And maybe he's going to kill this villager. One villager goes down. Will he get the second one? Oh, does he escape? Oh, my gosh. Look. Oh. I'm watching these long spears.
Doesn't escape.
There we go.
I missed
Down
the beginning of it.
go.
I was looking for it, but yeah, I couldn't find it. So both of those villagers did go down, as you mentioned. Yeah, Viper.
I love to see it. I'm sorry. I mean, everybody who's faced this situation, it's just so annoying when this happens.
Yeah, but we do have arrow slits now coming out as well for the Mongol player. So you can see that he's got 2 outposts down here outside the tree line that are beginning to fire on the buildings there. So Viper has now moved towards the northern, or rather the eastern tree line that he's gotten. Now going to begin repelling out the scouts towards the center of the map, but do note that Viper has expanded. He's got a secret little expansion over towards the eastern corner of the map. So nice
Very
and
smart.
hidden away. His opponent is yet to spot that out, but we do have villagers moving out in that direction, getting
Bitey
picked up by a
infantry.
wolf. Yeah, Bitey infantry coming in to say good day as well. But
Yeah,
Nope.
I think Viper has to move out and do some pressure or something here, like, because he doesn't want to be backed in the corner with towers. He's obviously lost the left side of his base. He could invest in rams, invest in taking that, but it would just buy Black Widow time. Look at that, picking up those villagers. I mean, did he see those?
I don't know. He's just an impressive player. He
Wow.
knows what is going to happen before it happens. He's
That's
living
4
in the
villagers
future
he's
right
killed
now.
now.
Yeah, he's doing an impressive job here. So obviously this is the first game in the series between these two players. This is part of the EGC Summer Series. And yeah, Viper
Summer
just...
series, huh?
Oh, is it? Well, for me, it's the summer
It's
fits.
winter over here.
It's winter for you guys. All right, you know what?
You're on the wrong side of the hemisphere.
All right. I'll give you that. But now look at the masses beginning to build up for Black Widow. So he's got 8 archers out. This is part of the reason why Mongols are so strong, because they just put down a single archery range, and you know what? They're just going to double produce archers for the next 17 batches, because why the heck not? And it gives them a lot of versatility. And you can see that already in this early age, he's got a huge amount of scouts that have built up for him. 110 health on each of these.
Viper just killed a villager with a scout on the gold line. Look at that. He got another villager. So now he's at 23 villagers versus the 32 of Viper.
He's doing incredibly well, but he's got to be careful over on the front line, because it looks like the majority of his units are probably going to be going down here against the archers of his opponent. I mean, slowly but steadily, and more archers actually getting picked up, so Black Widow not really paying attention. Viper actually looking pretty decent here, Fitz.
Wow. Yep, doing really nice. I mean, I don't see Abbasid taking wins off of Mongols all the time. This is looking good right now for Viper.
Viper got 13 idols at the moment, so he's only just managed to pick that up. He's lost out those villages up towards the eastern side as well, just primarily because those scouts have managed to find it. Professional scouts has come through for the Mongol player. He's yet to actually bring any of those hunts back towards his town center just yet. He's using berries for the moment, but he is using his scouts in a very raid-heavy manner, at least at this point in time.
Yeah. Well, see, here's what you wonder, right? So Viper's about 10 villagers up, not quite, but there's the the 3 villagers that come in essentially from that over, right? Because you're still paying for 1 archer but getting 2.
Correct.
So maybe it's enough for Black Widow. I mean, this really needs to be, he needs to be careful. It could be one bad engagement here right now. If Black Widow is able to mass up some archers, but coming out right now with 7 archers versus those 10 spearmen and 7 archers of Viper. Does anyone have a blacksmith?
Let's take a look and see. Viper yet to drop one down. He does have a market. Blacksmith yet to come out. Actually, we do have a blacksmith coming down for Black Widow. He's researching his +1 iron undermesh.
And he was able to get a tower built on that berry line, so he was able to protect his berries. He could even run down with his spears right now and take out that outpost. It only had both of those outposts. They don't have anyone garrisoned inside it. And yes, they've got that upgrade, but I think it could be easy to pick that off and get some map control back. Yeah,
I don't think you're wrong. I think that's a great idea, but yeah, I will note Black Widow's now getting the arrow slits and for that outpost, and you can see the range that it's got on it. It's just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, why did they buff the range on these?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy.
For sea, I guess. Like maybe that's the only reason. It is. It gets crazy. I wouldn't even mind if it had extra range against ships or something, and not on land. But yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, Viper doing a pretty decent job of keeping tabs of his opponent. Obviously, he's under attack down towards his own base with the arrow slits. It would be frustrating, to say the least, with the amount of warnings that would be going off towards him. But keeping tabs of his enemy, doing a great job with the scout. So he's still got that 1 scout alive and continuing to build up a pretty decent mass back at home. Double broadaxe coming in for him as well.
The outpost is shooting at villagers. I don't know if Viper realizes it. He's got 1 villager going down. He's going to lose 2 or 3. This is not good. He could build a single ram right now. He could probably afford it. Like I think it'd be worth it at this point.
Yeah, he's just realized now. He's going to be putting down a forward mill on the deer hunt instead, but he's got to be careful. Black Widow moving in. He manages to spot it out, though. He's on the ball, so not missing a beat once again. Viper doing a great job with that. But yeah, Black Widow trying his best to do a bit of damage here. Doesn't realize that there are enemies very close by, though.
Stealth Forest. Oh, he's going to pick up that Khan. That would be huge.
Oh, my lord. That Khan gets away with 2 health points. No, it was the Scouting Falcon that goes up. Now Viper going to be looking to put the herd on as the movement speed buff comes through for these units. We don't actually see the deer stones moved up. Ideally, this deer stone should be moved up a little bit further. It is buffing up the villagers now, but should be able to come out and help out these archers. It would definitely make the difference out in these battles.
And you do see that Black Widow has been returning those hunts with those professional scouts. And here we go. Big engagement in front of Black Widow's base for the first time. Tower got up, so taking shots down on that army. For Viper, probably going to need to pull back here. Those archers do have that speed boost of the AM network. Yeah,
so Viper is definitely going to have to back out for the moment, it seems. And now going to be trying his best to just maintain some sort of semblance of control. But unfortunately, it looks like the archers of his opponent have just got so much movement speed, 1.44 movement speed. Going to be able to chase him down, force, and really punish him out here. This YAM network is just so freaking big, isn't it? It's ridiculous how much room that gives you to move.
Yeah, I honestly, I've been thinking about it recently. So that, they get the speed boost from that EM network from a very, very, very wide aura from towers. I almost wonder if they shouldn't to get it lasts for what I think 20 seconds after they leave the network, like after they leave the aura. Yeah. I almost feel like that's not even necessary. Like it's strong enough as it is. Like that could be a good change, but just some thoughts.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It's definitely one of those things that could probably use a little bit of tweaking.
I mean, there's a huge aura on that tower already.
yeah. Like you look at it, it's just it is ludicrous the range that it's got. That's I mean, it's got 5 tiles of range, the archer, so this is probably like, what, 12 tiles of range from the center of the outpost? It's just, yeah, it's a huge amount of coverage.
I see someone in chat asked about what is a YAM. I did have to Google this myself. But it was a basically, as I understand it, kind of like a postal system that the Mongols had, or a way of delivering goods. You can do a Google search yourself, but that gives you the idea of what it is. So
They
that's
have
why
like
they get the
beacons or
speed.
something. What did they do?
I don't know exactly all that. It was just literally like a network of trading, from my understanding.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of trading, it looks like Viper's going to be trading some health on his battering ram from the outpost down towards the south because he's going to be cleaning that one up. So Viper managing to take back control from his opponent. He's going to be clicking up to the next stage, though, Black Widow is. So going up with the step redoubt right as his Uvu is getting depleted. And take a look at the barracks is going down for Black Widow at this point. He's putting down 1 barracks, 2 barracks, 3 barracks right now. He is getting serious about this business.
Yeah, the fact that that Viper was able to just hold on to that tower rush early on, has that 1 ram, taking out all those towers. Of course, those towers were upgraded. Not a huge investment on Black Widow's part, but this is a good spot to be in against Mongols. If you can survive the early game, that's the hardest part usually.
Yeah, that is. I will agree with you to some extent because the difficult part is now also going to be dealing with their age 3 timing push.
Yeah.
And then the Mangonel follow up. And then, when they get age 4, the elite lancers that come out. So it's like, you have just like constant battles with the Mongols.
Tiers of battle, yeah.
Yeah, it is very difficult. But I agree with you. You survived the early game. Congratulations. Now you've progressed to the 2nd level boss.
On to the next trial.
Yes.
And then you got the step red out that's about to churn out that gold.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. The step redoubt is one of the best landmarks in the game. 50% gold is just ludicrous. Every single villager that's dropping off 10 gold here is dropping off 15 gold here. So it is, it gets crazy very quickly. But now towards the base of Black Widow, we've got Viper's scout that is coming through and going to be spotting out the movement of the buildings heading up towards the north. So these barracks, though, they are already dropping out man-at-arms. So you can see that the first 3 are out. It's going to be getting double batches out very shortly as well. But one thing to note, Fitz, is that Viper is heading up to the next stage, going up with the Culture Wing. And he's going to be looking to apply some pressure, I suspect. He is actually mining up a bit of stone, so could be adding in a 2nd town center.
So the Culture Wing, do you think he's going for that the reduced cost of technology, or do you think he's really looking for that healing from the keeps, or a combination of both? Like, what do you think's the best part there?
Yeah, look, to be honest, at this point in the game, I kind of feel like neither. I mean, obviously the preservation of knowledge is quite good, but I kind of feel like it comes in a little bit late. I mean, I guess maybe that's not the correct approach.
What's the ram doing?
Yeah, the ram's just going off and having a little bit of fun.
Scouting?
Yeah, scouting ram.
Oh, boy.
I mean, he scouts the men-at-arms. He knows what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Mangonel come out from Viper straight away, though.
Yeah, does he already have the...
Look at that. Look at that right there. Boom. Mangonel, immediate response from Viper. So that's what the Ram was able to achieve. I mean, literally that. So, yeah. It is... really great scouting there.
2 civilizations here that are able to build siege out in the field. I mean, I think this is one of the strongest abilities in the entire game, being able to do this. And of course, it was crazy with the Age of Springalds, but Black Widow did start with the Springald here, which would counter this Mangonel. But we'll see who gets the first shot off.
Fitz, I just want to comment on something, because a lot of people have been wondering about the YAM network, but what they don't know about
Have you heard of this before?
Is the Nidus network. So the Nidus network is a tier 2 Zerg building, and it's used to move units quickly around the map.
Yep.
And so a Zergling would arrive at a Nidus worm and give his information to another Zergling. And then, meanwhile, the rest...
A bunch of Ultralists pop out.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And so that was the Nidus worm, essentially. But, yeah.
Or if you play Age of Mythology, they can build the... one of the Atlantean civs, they can build the gateways they can go through. Or there's the... who is it? One of the Greek civilizations. I think it's Zeus can make the Underworld Passage, or whatever it's called.
How do you know this stuff?
Just RTS fan.
just an RTS fan. That is it.
Sky Passage, there it is. Yeah, lots of Age of Mythology. That was my first RTS I played online on dial-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Age of Mythology. I got AoE 2 and Age of Mythology at the same birthday. So I played them both simultaneously, but I played a ton of Age of Mythology.
Yeah, I think back in the day, I probably would have gotten into Age of Mythology. I regret not getting into it. But speaking of regrets, I think Black Widow, probably looking back on this game, is going to regret stacking up 2,000 food at the moment. It's a lot of food that he's got sitting there in the bank, isn't it? Like, it's a bit ridiculous.
Look at Springald's taking shots on that ram as it comes across. That outpost was able to give him some line of sight so he could see him, I guess, over those tree line. And meanwhile, Black Widow's Springald's haven't got any value yet.
Well, speaking of value, take a look up towards the north. Look at these spears getting some value. Look at that. That is impressive stuff. So managing to delay those villagers from gathering up that gold vein, but unfortunately going to be cleaned up by the veteran archers. So not too long for this world, but I mean, at this point in the game, do you feel like either player's at a significant advantage over the other?
I'm not. I can't really say. I think it's too early to say. I feel like Mongols are just the stronger civ, so I feel like they give them a little bit, but I wouldn't be fooled by the score. The score is glitched from Mongols, so don't look at that and think they're miles ahead.
Yeah, that is a really good point to note. Yes, often people will forget that, but yeah, I think at this point in time, the fact, as you mentioned, Viper has survived this long is a really good sign. Ideally for Viper, I would love to see a Trebuchet come out to sort of deny the line of sight that his enemy has got here. Because you can see that he's trying to Mangonel shell it, but unfortunately, the Springalds in the tower just do so much damage.
Those two villagers, they're like, we got you last game, we got you, Bango. You go in there, we'll heal you all day.
Yeah, that is a really good point. But yeah, I mean, Viper's mass is beginning to build, so I think it was really just going to come down to siege control. It's going to come down to being able to take out your opponent's mangonels. I mean, at this point, Black Widow is yet to go into any mangonels at this stage, so I'd say that the advantage... Ooh, Viper just losing a mangonel. That is not good. Yeah.
It's a pile of sticks now.
It is just a pile of sticks. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to that siege control. And Man-at-Arms going to be pushing out with 1.72 movement speed. Viper going to be falling back with his Springalds and be trying to hold on here. Plenty of archers coming out for both players, but a lot of men-at-arms coming out for Black Widow. He's looking like he might be overpowering the front line here of Viper. We'll take a look and see exactly what kind of numbers we're dealing with here.
Killed all the siege.
Yeah, there's plenty of crossbows in the back as well. But Viper doing a great job with healing all of those up. And at the same time, it sounds like we got a bitey infantry getting in on the mix. A Mangonel going to be going down on the back line. Only a couple units here going to be able to build it. But if this Mangonel gets up, it's going to be able to equalize here on this in this game. And you can see that his opponent, Black Widow, is trying to siege that down. Mangonel almost going to be up now. You can see that the bar above the health bar is what's indicating the progress. And if it turns, it's going to begin firing, and it's going to absolutely shred through this mass.
Oh, man, that big shot.
Damn, Lou. Jeez, far out. That does so much damage, doesn't it? Man, I wish
Viper always likes to get, like, cornered and be, like, just about to lose a fight and then sneak one Mangonel in. Like, this is exactly what he did in that last game.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He is literally the Mango Man. Oh, my Jesus. It's wild, isn't it? Mangonels are so decisive. It's like if one Mangonel shot, and that's just it. Like, boom.
I love him. I love him. He should change his name to The Mango.
The Mango, yes, I like that, yes. He's going to have to be replaced by some fauna from the flora. But, yeah, we'll have a look over at Black Widow, our other flora. Wait, I just realized we got a spider versus a snake right now.
Oh. I guess it depends on what type of snake or spider. I guess we're talking a viper here. I don't know. Is there any spider could take on a viper? I don't know.
I mean, if there is going to be a spider, it would be the Black Widow that could take on a snake, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean, probably. I assume. I don't know.
You know what? I'm pretty sure if you Google right now, spider eating snake, you will find an Australian spider eating a snake.
I'm sure. Did you upload it to YouTube?
Yeah, I may have uploaded it. But
look at these map control coming down. He's got keeps, outposts, and he's also building taking a stone over on the right side. I think Viper is going to be using these keeps. You know, we asked about him going up with that culture wing. Maybe he'll get this medical centers now so the keeps can heal nearby units. And just slowly creep across the map.
Yeah, well, that's definitely going to be it. But down towards the south, we've got some just single Lancer attacks. There was a Lancer attack up towards the north. Now coming down towards the south as well. Keep in mind this Lancer does have +1 armor as well, so it's going to be taking a lot less damage from this town center. It's trying its best to do damage here, but not going to be particularly successful. And now Black Widow going to be backing out there. And Moss going to be going down for Viper as well, so he's going to be looking to clean up these relics. And we'll take a look at the relic spawns, exactly how they are. So There's 3 up in the north of the map that have all spawned very close to each other, and then 1 outside Viper's base just to the south, and then 1 inside the base of Black Widows as well.
Yeah, I'm watching to see if he gets that keep tech in, but not quite yet. And we got one Lancer running through down there. That's not gonna be a huge deal. Doing the circle dance. All those archers are like half health, so that could become a problem if we get another engagement. I mean, he did make a prayer tent, but it doesn't look like he's healing his units. I mean, that a mangonel shot could really wipe out all of those archers.
Yeah, they are all very, very injured. Look at the damage that they've all taken. 6 Springalds now going to be coming out for Black Widow. By the same token, Viper is sitting on 6 as well. So I think when it comes to that, it's all going to come down to control or as to who gets the first shots. But prayer tent, we did have the shaman coming out. So did you know that, Fitz, that the Mongol religious units are called shamans? I bet you didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't make a ton of them, but yeah, most of the civilizations all have like a different name for their religious unit, which makes sense.
And take a look here. We've got some Springled Wars beginning to happen. Black Widow getting the first shots over on Viper. We've got the defensive arrow that comes in here. Mangonel shot landing on the back line, taking out about 8 archers. It looks like the second shot isn't going to get off because that Mangonel does go down. Viper going to be losing the majority of his Springhoods here, but there's only 2 that remain for his enemy, so it's not a trade that is particularly hard. But those archers beginning to push forward, and Viper's mass continuing to hold at this point in time. What do we have with regard to economy, though, Fitz? That's my main question. So at the moment, Black Widow sitting on 61, Viper sitting on 81. So Viper with a significant villager lead at this point.
But now, how does that, the step red out factor in? How many villagers is that worth?
Take as many gold villages there are and then multiply it by 1.5.
Yeah.
So an extra 5 villagers at the moment. So it's not a huge amount, to be honest.
Yeah, he's got 11 villagers on there.
But it's also about, the extra gold that it adds throughout the game. When we get to the 45-minute mark and there's no gold that's left on the map, the Mongol player sitting there with 17,000 gold in the bank, that's when it starts to matter.
Yep. I really like Viper has just been building outposts as he goes, of course, for plenty of line of sight of what's going on, the protection for some villagers. He's currently gathering berries right in front of Black Widow's base.
Yes, he's doing it within the line of sight of Black Widow as well. And you got to, I would imagine from Black Widow's perspective, he's not happy with this. He would not be happy with this.
You don't just come in and take a man's berries like this.
Yes.
I mean, under his line of sight. I mean, this is insult. So I expect that maybe he'll be dealing with these Springalds here very soon. What is he training up right now? I see both players have been capturing relics. Did Viper get any relics in? He had one at one. He got one relic.
Yeah. So the one that came in from the south of his base, he did pick up. He was getting attacked by a scout down there, but now it looks like in the middle of the map we got ourselves a little bit of an engagement, a little bit of a skirmish happening, but Viper going to be able to clean up 4 horsemen outside his town center with a single Lancer, going to be applying all the damage that needs to happen there. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple walls potentially come out from Viper. He is going to be able to scout out over towards this west side of the map. It would make a lot of sense for him to be able to do that and just get a nice little preventative wall up there, prevent all those raids from coming in, and limit the control, or limit the movement of his enemy.
Since you did mention it, there is still a debate going on in chat whether a Black Widow specifically would be able to eat a Viper.
Okay. Does chat, I mean, typically I think it's important to acknowledge this, Twitch chats are famous for being some of the most intellectual places on the internet. Yeah, it is. It's like if I'm looking for an answer to something, I turn to Twitch chat. So yeah, earlier in this year we were having some sort of questions about black holes. Twitch chat obviously got all the answers. So what was the answer with regard to the Black Widow versus the Viper?
It appears right now Black Widow is a 2021 American superhero film. Did you see that one?
Yes. Yes, I did see that copy pasta.
I in fact got the souvenir bucket in my office behind my stream. So I've got the big bucket. It was like $50 at the theaters.
Well, there you go. Unfortunately, I didn't see the movie, but speaking of movies, looks like Viper's going to be moving on to the 4th age, going up with the military wing now, and really looking to begin transitioning into that late game. His opponent at the moment still sits in the 3rd age, but does have that.
He still didn't get medical centers.
Why would you get medical centers? It's a terrible technology.
He's got keeps all out here. He could be healing up.
Healing up what? He's got no damage on. Oh, actually, he does have a fair bit of damage on his units. Yeah, maybe it's a good point.
Oh no, he seems to be like creeping with buildings. I could see it maybe being useful. I don't know. I want to see that tech used.
I think you're a madman, Fitz, but I love it. I love it, Fitz.
It's intimidating when you look at your enemy's army and you see them just like healing everything at once.
Oh, because it heals through the combat. That's the word I'm looking for. It heals through combat. But
Black Widow raiding with some Lancers down south.
Yeah, and at the same time, Viper going to be raiding with Lancers towards the north. And, yeah, no, his opponent is looking to put down this river. There's a huge wood line that's up towards here. So Black Widow going to be in a bit of a difficult spot because the Viper now going to be running in. Villagers going to be in a bit of a difficult spot as well. 70 villagers. He's down. He's not actually paying attention right now. His whole wood line is getting under attack. Villagers just fucking sprinting away at light speed. Oh, my lord. You got to love it. Jeez, those things move quick, man.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's all, like, it's when you move them into a, it's when you move them into a specific location that they're able to do that. So it's like if you grab like 20 of them and then you just right click somewhere, they'll all, like, the back ones will speed up. It's so funny. Look how fast they go, dude. God, that is so silly.
Okay, I can't get. Wait, no, I'm trying to, like, I'm looking at different villagers to see it's like actually faster.
1.49 movement speed allegedly.
The Yam, of course, is buffing them.
Yeah, look, they've got a lot of envelopes in their
They're like power walking. They move their arms faster. They look like they're moving faster.
Double traction trebuchets out for Black Widow at this point. So, I mean, when it came to the debate between the spider and the snake, I don't think we considered the consequences of the rock, and that's always going to be, you know, an issue because the rock is always cooking something.
Yeah, I mean that. Viper is in age 4 now, and you see him moving up there with, I guess, 2 elite horsemen trying to do something on the siege. Black Widow's got an impressive line of siege units right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of combination coming out from him. So you can see all the Springles he's got up to the north, the 7 Springles, the 2 Mangonels, the double traction trebuchets as well. And Viper in a bit of a difficult spot, I would say, because that keep is not too long for this world. It sits on 1,300 hit points. It's slowly getting healed up, but the man-at-arms going to be able to defend any of that potential siege that's looking to try and take down that castle.
Now, I know you love these stock takes, but I just took a little look-see, and the Viper has 104 villagers versus the 64 of Black Widow at the moment, and he's an age up.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty for Black Widow. I mean,
and cheaper villagers.
The scores indicate that Black Widow is doing relatively well, that he's sitting about 50 points away from Viper, but you and I both know that the Mongol score is not a reliable indicator of how Mongol progress is going.
That's higher than it probably should be.
Yeah, it probably is. But he's going to be looking at aging up. He's got enough resources here to be going up and dropping down the White Stupa in the middle of the map. So this is going to be a great source of late game transitional force, I guess is probably the best way to put it. But a nice little raid coming in at the north here. Elite archers coming in for Viper as well. I want to take a look and see what we've got in relation or in regard to upgrades for Viper at this point. So it looks like he's got tier 2 wood chopping, tier 1 for the food, and tier 2 for mining.
He did go up with the military wing, and he's getting boot camp right now, which gives plus 15% health to all infantry. So that's a big upgrade to get. And of course, he did get the tech in the 3rd age to make it all cheaper. So he's getting all these techs at a discount. Yeah,
that's a great use of the techs, a nice synergy there. But now I'm going to begin pushing up towards the north of his opponent's base, and we can see elite crossbows here with elite archers, a beautiful composition with the Springles as well. I'm glad to see this is a combination that is coming out because it is incredibly difficult to deal with. These Springles are going to be able to take out any potential siege like Mangonels. The archer is going to be able to take out any of the light units, and then the crossbow is able to take out the heavy units. But we'll tune in with Black Widow. We'll see what upgrades he looks to get as he begins to enter into his Imperial phase as well. A little bit of a trade coming out between the 2 Springles, so going to be getting elite archers. Mangonel shot. Oh my lord, did you see that one, Fitz? It was absolutely disgusting. Yep. Double Mangonel shot on the massive archer mass of Viper. Second Mangonel shot is going to be coming out. Viper doing the splits right now, looking a little bit like a gymnast, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough as the men-at-arms continue to move forward onto that back line. And Fitz, I really got to start shaking my head at this point. I'm wondering how the heck Viper is going to be able to hold on this position.
Yeah, I thought Viper was looking really, really good, but this was a military blunder for sure. They're going to be reviewing the tapes on this one. Meanwhile, we do have some horsemen on the west side raiding. We also have some archers raiding. Yeah,
Viper looking pretty good here. I mean, he's definitely going to be providing a lot of resistance, I guess, in the late game here. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to villager count, he's sitting on 107, opponent on 67, so he's still got that pretty decent lead. But yeah, my main concern at the moment for Viper is just that his opponent has obviously got the white super down, and there's going to be a whole bunch of potential that comes out from that. So have a look how much stone he's got sitting in there. 1,600 stone.
Oh my gosh.
So that can really start to stack up when you're talking about, you know, potential hand cannoneers or Mangadai or whatever it is that the unit you are looking to get out. Yeah, there's a huge amount of things that it could potentially be.
The only thing I will say, if I was a Mongol player playing against Viper, I'd be a little nervous in late game because I know that he never stops raiding. And when you don't have any walls, because you can't, I mean, you just have to keep, you can have all the towers you want, but you still got to micro those villagers. Yeah,
that is a big factor. And Viper now beginning to transition as well into horsemen as well. So he is really going with a trash army at this point. So 25 archers out. He's got the 13 horsemen out. We'll take a look at his infrastructure. He doesn't have a lot of infrastructure, though. That is a very curious thing. He's only got 6 infrastructure buildings up at this point in time. And to me, wait. No, he doesn't. What the heck is going on? 18. Okay. I was going to say, like, he's only got 6 infrastructure buildings at this point in the game. We're 35 minutes in, and he's only got a single stable. No. My button was a little bit bugged. It now makes a lot more sense. He's got 18. So 8 archery ranges, 7 stables. And, yeah, going for, like, a full trash composition here.
There's that trash army you love so much.
That is it. One of my favorites. It is a great way to exhaust your opponent. But yeah, Viper really starting to push out. He's got a couple of crossbows in the mix as well. These elite horsemen are going to be doing a great number here, managing to get in on top of all of the siege, on top of all of the elite horsemen, and going to be able to try and close out this game. We hear the mangonels firing off on them, going to be doing plenty of damage, and that Springald going to get healed up. Black Widow trying his best to hold on, but not going to be successful. Viper is not, so managing to lose the majority of his horsemen, unfortunately.
I mean, that's good value, even if you lose a few horsemen to several siege units. You know, it's a decent trade here in late game when he's got the res to spare.
Yeah, I think you're 100% on the money with that one. Viper stacking up 1,800 stone at this point in time. Also got plenty of gold still in the bank.
And he drop some keeps or something.
Yeah, he's maxed out for the moment. Like, he's sitting on 200 population. He's looking pretty good, but obviously he's got a large trash army. I'm curious where else he goes from here. I mean, he's just continuing to raid his enemy and continuing to try and push that lead. You can see he's avoiding fighting him head on, but now we've got double bombards coming out now. Is that potentially bombards that we see? Hold on, I'm just trying to find where the Uvu is. It's up towards this way. No, I don't think. Never mind. I'm just talking to myself here, Fitz. But have a look at all the pastures coming out right now from Black Widow.
Sheep.
Yeah, that is a ludicrous amount of sheep. So Black Widow's in a tough position because he's trying to follow around Viper. Viper's obviously got the mobility. Black Widow's got mobility as well in the YAM network, but at the same time, he's got mangonels. And so the mangonels are going to try and sort of follow these archers around, but at the same time, I mean, how can they?
Yeah, Viper's taking his time here, slowly pushing here across. We got an army spread out there to the north, but I don't know why 2 bombards right away. I guess he did take down a keep, but I would be a little nervous about like a huge cav charge or something out of Viper. Like, I'm trying to see where he's training his army.
Yeah, he's got a lot of potential for doing something like that. Yeah, my main concern would definitely be that. And I think the big thing is Viper's just got so many potential reinforcements that could come in. So you can just see the amount of infrastructure he's got there. Compare that over to his opponent. I mean, his opponent's only sitting on 11 military production buildings at the moment. Obviously, he's got the option for going into what's it called? Into the Uvu training, but obviously that's just not going to be anywhere near as much as just having more production.
Viper has picked up 2 sacred sites. Maybe he'll go for that 3rd. I see a few horsemen running towards kind of just the south of that middle sacred site. So going to do maybe a raid here.
I'm trying to spot out exactly where it is that you're talking about that.
Look at all these towers that are being built on the west, around that gold mine.
Yeah, there's an awful lot that are going up.
Widow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Black Widow out of gold. Look at him. He's running all his villagers there right now. And it appears that Viper maybe knows or has just got there right before him.
Yeah, Viper's got line of sight on that and you can see the horsemen are actually running up towards it. This could be bad for Black Widow. I mean, that's 17 villagers right there. He's only got 66 villagers at this point, so he's going to be losing
like half. He's got half as much villagers. Right
now. And that's going to be even worse now because the elite horse archers are going to be coming in, or rather, elite horsemen are going to be coming in. But yeah, Viper in an incredible position here. He's managed to hold out against his opponent, who's trying to push through the middle of the map. He's got the bombards out, but at the same time, all of the villagers going to be going down. You can see not a single outpost actually managed to get up, and now his opponent going to be sitting on 50 villagers. Compare that to Viper, who's on 115, and he is in a dire position at this point because he's on 129 population, and there's absolutely nothing he can do.
You know, chat's pointing out that perhaps the Mongol player could have built more walls. You know, it could have been, but they have years of research, I think, left ahead of them before they're going to be doing that.
It's an interesting strategy. We'll see how it plays out for them. But yeah, Viper now beginning to push up towards the north. You can see this additional raid coming through. And Viper just holding on for the moment. I really like this playstyle from Viper. He just sits back and he just kills villagers. Yeah. It's like
he's just like starving his opponent. He's made I feel like he could have made a push towards mid, but why not? He just sits on the gold, waits till his opponent runs out of gold. He's played enough of the. I mean, we've seen he's played plenty of these long matches. He probably has an idea when the opponent's about running out of gold, and knows that he could just sit back here until the precise moment. He's got bank food in wood, but here's a big engagement mid.
Yeah, massive engagement now coming out. Viper moving all of his archers up, getting a great spot. Surround coming in as well with the horsemen, looking to come in on top of the archers on the back line. Springald's just firing off towards these siege engineers or sieging units in the middle of the bombard's going to be trying to fire off, but the Springald's just doing a great job. You can hear all the reinforcements coming in for Viper at this point in time. He's sitting on 179 population. We'll double check exactly what he's looking at. You can see all the reinforcements coming in. It's absolutely ludicrous from him. He's going to be continuing to push in. Viper doing an absolutely great job here. More Springalds pushing out. At the same time, it looks like we've got raids going on in the base of Viper still. Yeah, there's a couple of elite horsemen over there for his opponent. He does have the +3 upgrades, but Springald's going to be doing their best to close out this game, or at least try and close out this game. The bombards are looking to put on some damage towards this keep. I don't think this keep's going to be... Oh, my lord, it was up for about 6 HP, but the final shot came in from the outpost there. And now Viper going to be able to take out the first of the 2 bombards that remain for his opponent, Black Widow, trying to seal out this game, but having a very difficult time. 179 population for Viper, 86 population for Black Widow. It's looking incredibly tough for him, Fitz.
Viper has knights coming right now, and I don't see anything here that counters knights. He's got man-arms. I mean, yeah, these knights are going to shred.
Yeah, well, this is just part of Viper's strategy, you know, wear them out with the trash army and then come in with the knights, and that's exactly it. I mean, they're just going to shred through this. Viper cleaning this up completely. There's a lot of outposts out here for his opponent, but realistically, I mean, the bombards are now going to be coming in for Viper, and it looks like his opponent has tapped out. Black Widow has been defeated by the Viper, so I guess that answers the age-old question.
Yep.
Can the snake
beats the spider?
Yeah, that's exactly it, Fitz. Well, that was an absolute action-packed game. Lasted for 41 minutes. Fitzbro, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yep, another great game.
All right, well, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you check out Fitzbro. I'm going to leave a link in the description, and I'm also going to leave a link in the description over to EGC TV's Discord channel. I encourage you to check that one out. Make sure you join up if you're interested in seeing more competitive games. But Fitzbro, once again, thank you for joining me, and YouTube, we'll see you guys later.
GG.